Hello, this is a Bluthner style 8 grand piano that we have in stock, 6 foot 3 inches, that's 190 centimeters. Now, as you can see, there's quite a lot of fading on the front part of the piano here. The piano's been refinished, and this is the underside of the lid, gives more idea of what the colour should be. And here's the top of the piano, again fading at the front, but in the middle you can see the colour of the piano, and there's some beautiful veneer on it. Side of the piano here is less faded, and as you can see, the veneer is very promising. So we can repolish it like this Steinway upright that we've repolished recently, and repolishing for £1 takes about 70 hours, so it's not inexpensive, but it's proper French polishing that we do. Try to all the traditional methods we use, including the 30 coats of French polish, and then afterwards antique waxing to bring out the best in the grain. Now, this Bluthner's also had changed legs. They used to be turned legs, and also the lyre here used to be a turned lyre. Now, I'm pretty certain that this is a Bluthner restoration, their own restoration, back in the 1960s. That's when they often did replace the legs and lyre. And if we look here, this is another telltale sign to me. I've seen that most Bluthners have this badge on them that is not commensurate with the date. The date of this is 1899. There's a serial number on the right there, but you can see that there's a date 1929 is the last one on there. So not quite sure why they did that, but the decal here isn't the original one. So they've fully restored the piano. The soundboard is perfect. The finish on it, the painting on the top of it is very, very slightly crazed, but the soundboard itself has no cracks. It's in perfect condition. And the stringing is done to the highest possible standards. The keys are also one-piece ivory. In other words, there's no join in the middle as there would have been on the original key tops. These are replacement one-piece ivory, absolutely perfect and very pretty. One thing we look for when we decide whether to fully restore a piano or not is whether the tuning pins are tight, and these are very tight. So Bluthner's are one of the best pianos for stability on tuning as well. There's absolutely no need to replace these. Now, we very often do fully restore, and here's a Bechstein that has had new tuning block and new tuning pins, so that's like a new piano, but obviously it's really costly to do that. Now, the piano's had recovered hammers, and they've been voiced really well, so the tone of it is exactly as the Bluthner should be. There's really very little sign of wear since the piano was being reconditioned, so that's encouraging. This is a Bluthner patent action. That's with this L-shaped spring, different from the later actions, but exactly what you'd expect. All Bluthner grands up to about 1924 have patent actions and have a famous touch that Bluthner lovers really appreciate. It's a nice smooth touch, and it's different from any other make, really. So that's why Bluthner's were so many people are so fond of them. So that's a Bluthner grand piano, 6 foot 3 inches long, 190 centimeters, style 8, and really one of the best grand pianos you can possibly buy of that length. We haven't repolished this piano yet. I'm making a video now because there's such a love for these pianos that I'm likely to sell it without repolishing it, because internally is absolutely perfect and it's making a beautiful, rich, warm sound. The tuning pins are very tight. Tuning on Bluthners is always extremely stable. One of the most stable pianos you can buy. Has a very lush tone here, as you can hear in the treble, and everywhere throughout the piano. Very even, very lush sound, and if you're used to Bluthners, you'll know what I mean. It's unique, really, and the touch is beautiful. It's just very, very smooth, slightly lighter than a modern touch, very, very friendly to play. Thank you very much for listening. Hello, since making the video, we've decided to repolish the piano as it's such a fine instrument. And as you can see, we're going to replace the legs. If we really want to have original casework if we're repolishing. So legs and lyre. I've got the legs in the polishing room. There's the lyre. I just wanted to make an observation here. The lyre is actually slightly longer than the original. Hopefully we can bring the pedals down, because one thing about Bluthners is the pedals tend to be slightly higher than we would ideally like. The reason being, we would like lower pedals so that for tall people we can raise the casters up a bit. I went to a Bluthner in someone's house recently, and they put caster cups under, even half an inch. Raises the pedals up too high sometimes, so that's an important factor, really. Here's another Bluthner, slightly younger Bluthner we got in stock, just come back in from rental actually, and those pedals are a bit on the high side. The top of the pedal just under 6.5 centimetres. There's a Yamaha upright 5.5 centimetres. The Bechstein Grand, as I mentioned before, the best of the lot, just under 4 centimetres. So we're looking forward to repolish this Style 8, which has a wonderful veneer on it, wonderful rosewood. You can see how differing rosewood is, and once that's polished over, you get a beautiful contrasting grain. So now we've begun the repolishing, and parts of the piano in the polishing room. This is, shows you how fine contrast you get in Rio rosewood, why it's such a special veneer. This is the natural colour of it. We applied about 30 coats of French polish, and we're not quite finished it off yet, but this is the colour that will be the same. This is the front part of the top lid, and you can see the contrasting grain, the black, almost black colour, and then very light wood. This feature I particularly like on Rio rosewood. You get that very often, and just a lot of interest in it generally. The music desk is dismantled, and these are the sides of it, and if we zoom up here you can see all the parts being taken off. Those are the runners, and there's the main part of the music desk, and right throughout the whole piano you get a really interesting veneer.